Hi there, I'm your English coach Christina, and welcome to Speak English with Christina, where you'll learn American culture and business know-how to become confident in English. You're learning American English. Of course, you're eager to build your vocabulary. However, students often overlook the most common and essential phrases or chunks of words that can drastically improve your fluency. These chunks of words in English may be referred to as formulaic expressions. Now, I know it sounds fancy, but it's quite simple. Formulaic expressions are usually fixed. That means that the words in the phrase cannot change. Otherwise, the meaning behind the expression wouldn't make sense. Well, guess what? Even if you exclusively studied vocabulary and grammar, you would still miss the meaning of these types of expressions. Why? Well, because they can't be translated directly in your mother tongue. They're figurative, and such expressions are not translatable word for word. And surprise, these chunks make up between 30 and 50% of the English language. So, if you haven't already started learning these expressions, perhaps now is a good time. After all, these essential chunks in English are truly insider secrets into speaking American English. Are you ready to learn how to say them and become more fluent? Let's go. One of the most exciting experiences language learners have is that moment when you speak without thinking. This is one of the best things about my job, being able to see my American English students spontaneously speak in English without translating in their native language. And that's why I created the Master Real American English program. In this program, students learn the techniques to speak spontaneously with improved pronunciation so that you're understood the first time. This 3-month course is personally tailored to your skill level. After an evaluation, you work one-on-one with a teacher each week to strengthen your skills. You also meet with your coach and other students in the program for a weekly group coaching session. In addition to that, you get access for 3 months of live conversation practice in my Faster Fluency Conversation Club, and of course, many more benefits. The program, it's a terrific way to master American English faster than you ever thought possible. Let's start with dessert. Learning essential chunks in American English will have you sounding fluent fast. And best of all, it's a piece of cake. You see what I did there? This common phrase simply means it's easy. You might say, my homework, it was a piece of cake. Or, that test, piece of cake. Eating a piece of cake is so simple because it's so good that you don't even have to think about it. So when you use this phrase, it's like a piece of cake, you're saying that the task was very simple. Similar phrases that you can use instead of it's a piece of cake are it's a cinch, it's a cinch, or it's a walk in the park, it's a walk in the park. And these phrases have the same meaning and, of course, are interchangeable. Sounds good, or sounds good to me. Like most American English speakers, I say this expression a lot. If you've ever worked with me, you have heard this expression. And you may already know what these two words mean. Sounds are the noises that you hear, and good means something of high quality. But sometimes when I use this phrase with new English speakers, they think that I'm commenting on their accent or their language skills. However, that is not the case at all. Sounds good simply implies agreement. It means, yeah, that's right, or let's do that, or I agree, or I like your suggestion. And sounds good is more colloquial, more natural, more casual, and more friendly than I agree. expression, to cut corners, means to take a shortcut or to skip steps that might reduce the quality of the finished product. For example, I know that they really cut corners when they created that product, and in the result, the product was really not that great. So that means that when they created the product, maybe they used cheaper materials, they didn't invest in so much research and development, they used, inexperienced workers to build the product, and in the end, cutting corners meant that they had a bad quality product. Now, you can cut corners in a lot of different things, like you can cut corners on a recipe by not adding all of the ingredients or using bad quality ingredients. Or you can cut corners when you are filing your taxes, for example, but I wouldn't recommend that. No worries is a very common colloquial phrase in American English. It means everything's fine or no harm done. How would you use no worries? Well, if your friend is late meeting you, they may say, "Oh, sorry, I'm late. The bus was running late." A typical response is, no worries. Or if you bump into someone on the subway and you might say, "Oh, sorry," and the other person says, "No worries." No worries is a slang phrase that you would use in very informal situations with friends, acquaintances, or strangers. However, depending on your work and your relationship, it might not be appropriate with clients or with your boss. It depends, but use your best judgment. Now, the last two common expressions that I'm going to talk about are more flexible than the other examples. You can change the pronouns depending on the subject. For example, on my way is very common in American English. It means that you are in the process of going from one place to another. And you may say, on my way back from work, or on her way back from work, or on his way back from work. You can also say on the way to work, or we're on our way. And there are lots of possibilities with this one. And if you can master it, you will be on your way to better fluency. Take your time is also very flexible and very common. It implies not hurrying something. Take your time is the same as saying, don't worry, you don't need to rush. So you might say to a client, I'll send you a quote right after this call. And they might say, yeah, sure, take your time, there's no rush. Other examples, you can take your time on a phone call. She can take her time at the gym. They can take their time shopping. Really, the possibilities are endless with this one. Now, how about you? What other common expressions or chunks or formulaic expressions do you already know in English and that you've heard many times from Americans or other native speakers? Share your ideas in the comments below, and you can actually teach someone else something in English. And remember, if you're a busy professional who needs to level up your fluency, but you find it difficult to do it alone, let me help you with Master Real American English. It's a 3-month coaching program in which my team and I empower you to express yourself fluently and naturally so that people focus on your professional skills and your expertise, not on your level of English. For more information, click on the link below in the show notes where you can apply to join this program today. Thank you so much for learning English with Speak English with Christina, and I'll see you next time.